Alright, you guys, I'm going to be showing you today how to change a battery out on a 1995 Mercury Grand Marquis. This is a really old car that or a car that's been sitting for a long time with a date code on the battery of 11 of 05. And I've got a new battery here, and this is the full-size battery for the car. This one's a little smaller here, a different group battery. So I wanted to just show you the process by which we do this. So the first thing we're going to do is disconnect the battery, and the way we're going to do that is by taking this negative cable off. It's got a 10 millimeter head bolt there, sorry, 8 millimeter, and I'm going to put my safety glasses on, grab an 8 millimeter, and we'll take that off. And you always take the negative off first. I'm going to go ahead and bring this guy a little closer so you can see a little better. We're always going to take this guy off first, the negative, because if I were to take the positive off and I hit the wrench to something metal, I would short to ground and arc. But if I take the negative off and I hit the fender, there's no consequence because the negative's already attached to ground. So I'm loosening the negative side, and I've got it loosened, and I'll wiggle waggle back and forth like this and bring this up, and I will bring the camera down a little closer. So hopefully you can see a little better what's going on down there. And let me do it like this. Maybe this is better. Let's see if I can get a little bit better guy there. Let me pause the camera for just a second. Okay, so here we go, taking this guy off, wiggle waggle back and forth. Maybe I need to loosen it a little bit more. Seems like it's not loose enough, so I'll loosen it up. Sometimes I'll put a screwdriver in there to kind of wedge it apart. And, not the camera, sorry. So now I got the negative off. So next what I'm going to do, let me grab the camera. I've got to get that nut off, and it's pretty rusty, so I sprayed it with some JB80 penetrant. Let me put the camera back up here. So I sprayed that guy with some JB80 penetrant, and maybe I'll do just a little bit more so you can see the JB80 penetrant. Stuff works really good, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little more on that. And kind of a bummer, I think that's it's a 10 millimeter, but that guy is longer than my deep socket will go over. So I think what I'll do is take my die grinder. Let me bring it down in here. Take my die grinder and just whack this thing off, because the way it sits right now, my deep socket won't get down to get that bolt. Either that, or I can just try and take this bolt right here. Let's try doing that first. Let's try taking this bolt right here and see if we can get it out there. So I grab a 3/8 ratchet, an extension, and a 10 mil socket, and I will take this guy off. Now my battery cable was touching the terminal there, so I want to get that away. And so I'm pulling this off here, and then I'll go ahead and pull this guy up and see if I can unhook it. And I think I can. So let me pause for just one sec. So what I'm going to do with my die grinder with a cutoff wheel and my safety glasses and my face mask is I'm going to go ahead and just trim that bolt off. When I do it, I got to make sure the spray doesn't hit a windshield. So I'll come down in here. So I'll cut that off. And with that off, from now on, we'll be able to use a deep socket. A deep socket will easily go on there to loosen that up. So that's just one way of dealing with it, but I actually think I might be able to just get this off without, I think I can. Trying to see if I can unlatch this. You know what? Okay, so what I'm going to do is Let me see if I can unscrew that with a deep socket. Now I've got a deep socket in there, and I'm gonna see if it, okay, so it just broke it right off, which is fine, because I'll get a new J-bolt. This is called a J-bolt, and I'll just get a new one. So let me do this. Let me put this aside. And it was so rusty, it just snapped right off. Now what I'm going to do is take my 8mm wrench, and I'm going to go ahead and take that positive cable off right there. Okay, so let me get that positive cable off. So loosen the positive up. And remember, the negative cable is off and not touching the post, and I'm going to take the positive cable off. And now I've got both there, and I'm going to get this guy out of there. And that J-bolt has a little plastic retainer on it, and I've got that off. So I just need to get a new J-bolt here because I cut that one off. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this battery back down, the new one back in. And if this were a more modern car, where I had a bunch of computers and such, I could, so I don't lose my stereo presets and everything, I could put a battery saver in there. So before I go any further here, I'm going to clean this guy out with my battery brush. I'm going to go ahead and just take this thing and this wire brush and scratch it up. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this guy off and put that down. This is the positive post. Kind of twist it down so it's snug. When you tighten it, don't over tighten it too much, just get it snug, because you'll end up breaking it. That's on there nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean this one out. And I have seen people come to me and say, I don't know what's wrong, I put a new battery in and it won't start. And they forgot to take the plastic covers off of the posts. So now that the positive's on, now I can safely put the negative on. And this post is a little bit bigger, so I'm going to loosen up this nut a little more. And let's show you what I'm doing. I'm just loosening that nut a little more, so I can go back and forth and get it pushed down so it's all the way got full contact there. Now it does. And then just snug it up. And then I might have another J-bolt, or I might have to order one. Okay, so that's tight and that's tight. And you can see that where that J-bolt goes down there. So I'm good to go.